Yo, be careful with false light and trickster energy. Me personally, I've been feeling it more, just like realizing things. Like there's things that have been coming to light to me about people in my environment that I was once close with, and it's like a lot of times people know how powerful you are. They know you're a light or see, like I said, just how powerful you are, and they want to, you know, siphon your energy to bind you. You know, I'm not as familiar with the term destiny swapping, but I've heard of that as well. And oftentimes, this trickster energy, like I said, it's tricky, false light. Oftentimes, it comes in the form of like people's being nice or smiling, you know, getting close to you. Whole time they building your trust and and the whole time they just trying to eat off you. They trying to siphon your energy. They trying to trap you or even bind you. Like, and it's crazy because oftentimes you don't even be realizing this is certain people, you know, certain people have certain intentions, and pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to the feeling that you have about somebody, or even, because it might be just like coming from a thought, also might come in the form of a vision. For me personally, I've had both. I even had a vision, that's the one that inspired me to create this video. Because it was some shit that I sensed, and that's the thing with like the time that we're in, or just wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you get better and better at things. Your abilities get heightened. You become more powerful. You may be able to even start sensing people's intentions before they even say anything. Or they may say something, but it's like you kind of like get this understanding of what they're saying that's like between the lines, between the words of what they're saying. It's like they're saying this, but it's rooted in this. You can see their projections, see their intentions. And a lot of people's intentions ain't so good, especially with people like you who shine, who are lights in this world, And I just thought of sinners. I just thought of sinners. Be careful with who or what you invite in your home. In your home, it means like literally, like physically your home, but also means your body, your temple, your energetic space. Be careful what you invite in your home, because evil can't get in unless you invite it. A lot of times you don't even realize you're inviting it. But anyway, to go back to the movie Sinners, the vampires, they're symbolic of evil, and it's a lot of symbolism in Sinners. But right now I'm just say they're representative of evil, and they know. First I gotta say this, because first I've been wanting to make a video about this. Like have this be its own video, like my interpretation of the fire in the juke joint in Sinners. But I might as well just, it came up to me now, so I'm gonna just say it. I think that, actually I'm gonna give a little, I'm not gonna say everything, but remember the fire in Sinners? So it basically is when Preacher Boy, he pierced the veil, he's playing the blues, you know what I mean? Some of the ancestor type shit, like juking in that joint, you feel me? Juking in that juke joint. And in the spiritual realm, basically, I interpreted like the fire, like the scene where you see Preacher Boy playing, and it kind of turns like to fire, and then from a distance you see the vampires like looking at the fire. It's like when the vampires looked at the juke joint, it was a fire. It was a fire. burning, and intensely. To me, that was symbolic of kind of like a spiritual smoke signal. It's like when you are a light, when you shine, you doing your thing, you piercing the veil, whatever, but you just shining your light. Entities can see that. And I feel like in the spiritual realm, obviously this is symbolic, but also it could be, you take it as literal as well. But entities, whether good or bad, all types of entities can see a light shining. Because the light is the truth, amongst many other things. But for them vampires, like Preacher Boy played music so true, just so real. He pierced the veil, and that let off like an energetic beacon, of light. So anybody can see it, including these negative ass entities. So when the vampires seen that, they came, because they attracted to it. They attracted to it, That's why they was trying to get him to come on their side, which basically from my understanding, it would be like their plan would be like to turn Preacher Boy into a vampire on the dark side so that he can use his gift to lure more people in to become vampires, to become evil. It's so many different interpretations of it. That's my interpretation. But so yeah, it's like basically I'm saying that because as a light, you shine. Like what does a light do? It shines. Just being your fully authentic self, doing what you feel called to do, trusting your intuition, healing yourself, doing the work on yourself, not getting pulled down by this negative ass energy, living in your truth, walking in your truth, living in your truth, existing in your truth, shining your light so bright it's undeniable, And you're going to have vampires that see you and want to come to you and want to try to get you to turn, or either eat off you energetically to get you to turn to the dark side. That's why I'm saying you got to be careful what you allow in your home. And sinners, the vampires, they seen Preacher Boy shining, they seen the veil and the fire, just shining. So they came. They came with their little guitars and shit, or banjo. They came smiling, creepy as hell. Hey, we want to join y'all. We're like, y'all having fun in there. We're musicians too, like that's another thing. I don't know what the term exactly is, but I'm getting like familiar spirits or let me just say this. A lot of times they can come in a familiar way, or it can come through your interests. So they're at a juke joint. They got musicians. They got people who love listening to music and dancing. They got music too. They got banjos and they sing and dance and play. Something that is attractive. I call that the spiritual shiny object syndrome, where it's something attractive, but it's actually not good for you. That's a whole nother video I'm gonna make. But yeah, they came on smiling, But was it Smoke or Stack? I keep forgetting the names, but the serious one, he was more like when he seen them, he like something ain't right. Something like y'all like what's up with y'all? You know what I mean? He knew. That's spiritual discernment right there. You feel me? Like, so that's what I'm saying. You gotta be careful. It wasn't until they invited them in that they could enter. Both times, both when Shorty got in, got her name, but Stack girl, and then later, because Cornbread let her in, because she seemed familiar. That's the thing. That's a perfect example of what I'm saying. Oh my, this is perfect. Haley Steinfeld, whatever the character is, she went out there, and everybody, Cornbread know her. Cornbread know that's his people's, or that's his people's, that's his homeboy girl. You know what I mean? She familiar. He know her. and she know him type shit. And so when she came back, even though it was suspicious, it was like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like where'd the other three go? Like, da da da. She was like, no, I was just, I forget what she said, but I was just walking around, da da da, but now I'm back. Are you gonna let me in? Can I come in? And that's the thing. It's disguised. It's disguised as just in regular conversation. Like, are you gonna let me in, or do I gotta beg, or do I gotta push past you, or whatever? He was like, yeah, you come in. That was the trick right there. Are you gonna let me in? Can I come in? Cornbread gave that permission for her to come in. Because she was familiar. She was family. Or she was a friend. You gotta be careful. Because even family and friends, there's a reason why I'm saying that. Even family and friends can be involved in some shit. Can be on the other side. Shit that you don't fuck with. That's why you gotta be careful. Trust that intuition, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, I wasn't even thinking about sending this when I first started recording, but that's literally like the perfect example. But yeah, be careful, man. Be careful who you hang out with. Careful what you allow in your home. Careful what you allow in your energy. Careful what you say yes to. A lot of times it's tricky. It's a tricky ass energy. It seemed like everything cool, smiling, they doing nice things for you, giving you gifts. Not all gifts are gifts. I'm telling you. What if they gifted you a car, and you also and it's something that you need. You've been walking to work every day. It was 122 when I look in the timer. You've been walking to work every day. You've been tired. You've been really wanting a car because you've been tired. You've been working. You probably gotta walk like 2 miles to work every day, whatever the situation is for you. But you really just need a car, and then boom, here goes somebody give you a car. And you're like, oh man, thank you so much. I got this car. Like now I can actually save my legs, and I don't gotta be so tired all the time. I don't gotta wake up an hour or 2 hours earlier just to get to work. So you're happy. But then next thing you know, you get pulled over, and turns out you're driving a stolen car. Damn, you feel me? Like, so not even with gifts. Be careful with gifts. Not our gifts are gifts. Maybe a gift for them, but not for you. Maybe a gift for them in the way that it's a way to break down your defenses. It's a way to get your acceptance, get your invitation. Just by you accepting something can be a way in for evil to get in. So, but yeah, wow, I know I was gonna talk about that in particular, but yeah, be careful with trickster and false light energy. Like I said, and I say false light because I kind of think of like for example, like the sun that's shining right now, shines bright. There's also artificial lights. Whole time somebody could have an artificial light, and just like very symbolically, I kind of think of like Plato's cave as well. Plato's cave is the allegory about people in a cave, and there's like people who are in control. They use the sunlight from outside the real light to shine, and they put like a little symbol. You know how like you do like little, like you do like a rabbit or whatever, like little shadow puppets on the wall and all that. It's these controllers who have these people deep in the cave who've been there, who've, let's say, just magically ended up there the whole life or whatever, and they looking up at the silhouette, the shadow on a wall from the sun shining, but they see the silhouettes, and they see like the little rabbits or whatever. They see a bird, da da da, da, and like, ooh, and it like looks real. For them, it's like real. That shit is fake. It's a shadow on a wall. And the controllers, people don't, they know it's fake, but they know that they can use the real light from the sun and cast shadows from that light to create a reality, an artificial reality, to convince the people that it's real, to control them. So every time people try to leave, they put up their hands like, like make a little like monster, make it seem like it's about to eat them or something like that. And the people, they don't know no better because that's all they, probably all they've known. They were hypnotized or convinced to think that it was real, whatever. However they ended up in there, you know. I forgot what I was talking about that got me to that point, but yeah, be careful because people clever. People are clever because a lot of people, this is about the false light thing. A lot of people can like have information, like they reach a certain point, they know things and spiritual things, da da da. And they also know control. They also know power and how to get power and siphon energy from people and control, da 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 da. You know, some people use that for their own gain, to your own detriment. You know, so I'm saying you gotta be careful with that. Be very careful, because a lot of people know the game. They set up traps, energetic traps. First of all, this whole freaking society is a whole, so many traps in of itself. Even in like corporate culture and jobs and working, and that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, I won't make this too long. But yes, be careful with trickster as energy. Be careful with false light energy. The light not even real. It's an artificial light. But yet it still works on people. You know. So you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Like I said, trust your intuition, trust your spiritual abilities, trust your spiritual discernment. As you evolve on your spiritual journey, your abilities and your spiritual discernment will improve. You'll get better and better at seeing what is for you and what is not for you. You know, I always say, there's nothing to worry about, but it's something to know about. But yeah, that's all for now. Peace.